They had their chance. They had every damn chance to stand by you, to see your worth, to recognize what was right in front of them. But they didn't. They walked away, turned their backs, ignored you when you needed them the most. And now, they think they can just waltz back in when it suits them, when the world has shown them that you were never the problem, that you were always the one who mattered, that you were the one who stood firm while they faltered. Let them crawl. Let them feel the weight of their choices pressing down on them like a storm they never saw coming. Let them sit in the mess they made, in the silence they forced upon themselves when they chose to abandon you. Let them wake up in the middle of the night, heart pounding, realization sinking in that they lost something they will never get back the same way again, because you are not the same. You are not waiting. You are not standing still hoping they'll return. You have risen. You have grown. You have become something greater than they ever imagined. And while they fumble in their regret, you walk forward with purpose, unshaken, untouched by their late apologies and hollow words. There was a time you would have begged, pleaded, whispered into the void, hoping they'd come to their senses. But that time is gone. That version of you no longer exists. What remains is a force they cannot control, a storm they cannot tame, a presence that demands respect without uttering a single word. They think they have time. They think the door will always be open, that they can return when the world turns cold and you will be waiting with warmth in your hands. But the door they walked out of? It's locked now, sealed by the fire of your growth, by the strength you built in their absence. They don't get to come back the same way. If they come back at all, they will find a version of you they no longer recognize, one that no longer bends, no longer makes room for those who chose to leave. They will learn. They will feel it in their bones, in the pit of their stomachs, in the quiet moments when they realize they threw away something irreplaceable. And you? You will not be there to soften the blow. You will not be the one to ease their regret. Because you are too busy living, thriving, becoming everything they doubted you could be. Let them crawl. Let them beg. Let them face the consequences of their choices. And when they finally understand what they lost, you'll already be too far ahead for them to ever reach you again. They never thought you'd walk away. They never believed you'd be the one to turn your back, to let go, to stop waiting. They were so sure of their place in your life, so certain that no matter how many times they left, you'd be there, waiting, hoping, forgiving. They thought you were permanent, an unshakable presence in their world, and so they left. They made their choices. They threw you aside like you were nothing, as if your loyalty, your love, your unwavering presence meant nothing. They walked away with ease, never looking back, never questioning, never fearing the day you might finally be done. But that day came, not with fire, not with rage, not with some grand declaration. No. It came in silence, in the quiet decision to stop fighting for people who never fought for you. It came in the stillness of a single moment, the realization that you were done chasing, done waiting, done giving pieces of yourself to those who never knew how to hold them. And now they feel it. It starts small, like a whisper in the back of their mind, a tug at their chest when they hear your name. They ignore it at first, too proud, too blind to admit that something feels wrong. But then it grows. It seeps into their bones, into their dreams, into every empty space they once filled with distractions. And one day they wake up, and it hits them. You're gone. Not just physically, not just in presence, but in spirit, in heart, in every way that ever truly mattered. They reach for their phone, fingers hovering over your name, but something stops them. Fear, guilt, the bitter truth they can no longer deny. They took you for granted. They thought you'd always be there, a safety net, an option they could return to whenever they pleased. But now, as they stand in the wreckage of their own making, they realize they were wrong. And the worst part? They can't fix it, because you are no longer the person they left behind. You have grown. You have thrived. You have taken the pain, the rejection, the loneliness, and turned it into something unbreakable. You have become a force beyond their reach, beyond their understanding, beyond anything they ever imagined you could be. And now they crawl, not with arrogance, not with entitlement, but with desperation, with regret so heavy it nearly crushes them. They whisper apologies. They plead for one more chance, one more conversation, one last moment to prove they've changed. But it's too late. Because love, trust, loyalty, those things aren't games. They aren't buttons you can press when it's convenient. They aren't strings you can pull when you realize what you lost. You gave them everything. You gave them time. You gave them love. You gave them chance after chance after chance. And they threw it all away. So let them feel it. Let them sit in their regret, in the silence they created, in the emptiness where you used to be.